Are we live?
We're live.
Welcome back to another edition to our Talk It Out sessions.
Another one.
Presented by VERB. This is our fifth installment now.
Really?
Yes. First one was decency. The second one was lying to protect. Third one was what was
Do women
it?
and men have the same emotions?
Women and men, same emotions. Last one was about marriage. Today,
We're on a roll.
today,
Consistency?
let's go. So today we are talking about. Make sure y'all can hear me.
Make sure you're
And make sure you're waving at the people.
Wave at the
So today we're going to
Just
discuss.
hit the
Yeah,
button.
just hit wave. There you go.
If your nail wasn't so long, okay. My bad.
Today we are going to discuss why do men and women cheat.
Why do men and women cheat? And also in the caption I put why you got cheated on.
Why do you cheat on?
So a lot of people would love to know
Why
they got cheated on. So before we get into that, I want you all who have been cheated on to post why you think you got cheated on. That'll be very interesting before we really break down why you actually got cheated on. So if you've ever been cheated on in any way, form, or fashion, please tell us in the comments why you think that your significant other cheated on you.
And if you've caught our other videos, you know we like to ask several questions surrounding the topic. So we do have about 8 questions we're going to ask today. Our friend Jasmine is here with us again today for all of our Jasmine fans. Say hello to the people, Jasmine.
Hello, people. Hello.
So she's going to be reading the questions to us. And also, we would love for you guys to comment as much as you want. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions in the comments as well. And we're going to try to address every single question also. But yeah, we'll give you guys a chance to, say why you feel like people cheat or why you feel like you got cheated on before we get started.
Hey, Monica.
Who are they?
Monique.
Oh.
Wow.
So we'll give you all a few moments to voice why you honestly feel like you've been cheated on before. I feel like this is going to be a very informative topic, so I would highly recommend you stick with us through to the end because we're going to reveal a lot of things that may put some things in perspective, a lot of those areas in your life where you thought you needed closure on. I feel like this is going to be the door that closes that door.
Absolutely. The door that closes that door.
That's the best I can come up with. I had like 2 seconds to come up with.
We got to do
that's all
better.
I got.
We got to do better. We got to
That's
do
all I
better.
got. Have anyone voiced why they feel like they got cheated on?
Just a lot of people
Okay.
joining in.
Okay. So for those of you who are just joining, before we get started, we are asking you all, why do you think that you got cheated on? And I know someone out there in the Facebook world has been cheated on because all y'all talk about on Facebook is the no good, downright dirty, stinking, nasty, disrespectful, your mammy, your grandmammy, and her mammy, and you snatch air and you post memes. So it's time to really figure out what happened to you.
Have a comment.
Okay, so what we got?
We have a comment from Aisha. She said he wasn't ready and I was.
Okay. Mo to the E to. Oh, he said my Isha. I'm sorry.
Aisha.
Oh,
Did you say
I said Mo
You said
Isha.
my?
Nope, just with the mind.
I'm sorry.
Maisha?
So Maisha says that the reason that she got cheated on is because he wasn't ready and she was. That's an interesting perspective, Maisha.
Okay.
We're gonna deal with it.
All right. We also have Miss Kathy Wright. She says, real men don't cheat. There is no reason to cheat. Just leave.
Kathy, my whole body, like I'm telling you, baby, it took everything in me to sit on this pillow like this. I'm trying to work on my control, but my body, I was inflamed as you read that comment, but we'll deal with that in a minute.
All right. So, Nicole, being too real. Guys seem to love vulnerable women that relies on them.
Ooh, so you feel like Nicole feel like she got cheated on because she wasn't helpless enough.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry, we're on set. So Nicole feels as though she got cheated on because she weren't being helpless enough. So he wanted something more vulnerable. She was too real. That's an interesting perspective.
So men fear strong women is what she's saying. I
So,
feel like that's what she's saying.
So are you basically saying that because you were a strong, independent woman, he felt like, well, shoot, you don't need me. I can go do what I want to do. That's probably how you thought he sounded in your head. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, we just.
That's an interesting perspective, and I'm pretty sure we'll deal with that as well. So maybe one or two more for those of you who want to voice. Why do you think you've been cheated on before?
Nicole did agree with you. She said correct.
Okay, cool.
All caps.
Cool. Okay.
Correct that men fear strong women,
I'm saying
or
that.
what Adrian said. Could you clarify?
So,
which...
Nicole, are you agreeing that the statement basically in your situation, he feared that you were a strong woman, so he felt the need to go cheat? Is that what you're saying? I bet you're like, bro, how you see these comments you way back then?
Yeah, like I said, we got Jasmine back.
Jazz
today.
on the set.
I'm sorry, we're still waiting on Nicole.
All right. So while we're waiting on her, I think we can go ahead and get started. So we're gonna break down this whole cheating thing, and I hope this really brings a lot of clarity to your life. And if not yours, you can share this with your family and your friends, because this perspective is gonna take it there. It's gonna. Now let me tell you this before we get started. Before we get started, you need to hear it through to the end, because some of the information that we're gonna be giving is gonna cause some duality. And you're going to be struggling because you're going to want to defend some of the people, and you're going to want to defend yourself. But I assure you, if you fully accept the logic that we're about to lay out, your life will never be the same. You will start to perceive things a lot differently. So let's get to it.
And remember, we do have set questions that we're going to ask, but while we're talking, if you come up with a question you want to ask us or want us to answer, feel free to put it in the comments, okay?
Nicole responded.
What you think?
So Nicole said, basically what you and Adrian said, I agree with. Killed myself laughing. I was thinking, how did you wave?
See, I'm on it, bro. Like, how you waving? You wave like that. All right, so let's get to it. Question number 1. Let's go.
All right, question number 1 is define cheating.
Question number 1 is define cheating. Shall you take a whack at this one?
Yeah, I can. So for me, short answer is cheating is any breach of loyalty or commitment made to a thing or things that are made exclusive between you and another person.
Hold on.
So I'm gonna say it again.
Whoa.
I'm gonna say it again.
Did you Webster it? Look. Got me thinking about my life. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, go.
Look.
Go.
So again, for me, cheating is a breach of any loyalty or commitment made to a single thing that was made exclusive between you and another person. So for example, if you and another person agreed to only have romantic feelings for each other, then breaching that commitment would be to not only form romantic feelings for someone else, but also pursue those romantic feelings with that other person outside of who you already made those feelings exclusive with. I hope that made sense.
Man. Got me thinking about, have I ever cheated on? So no, I agree with that. Cheating for me is...
And just to be clear, but the definition of cheating isn't exclusive to romantic feelings. It can be
anything. Yeah, like I said, any breach. Mm-hmm. And that's a perfect way to put it. I agree with that. I'm going to leave it. I agree wholeheartedly with that. I can't add anything like that.
That's a first. First ever left you speechless, huh? Okay, so you guys in the comments, do you agree with my definition of cheating? If not, what is your definition of cheating?
Yeah, do you all have a different definition of cheating than Webster just explained?
Yeah, and if you need me to explain it again, please let me know. I know that was a mouthful.
It was, but it was perfect. It was perfect though. I was waiting on you to trip up on a word. Like, you wide open.
I've been working on this all week, yo.
You wide open.
Trying to make sure I'm clear.
Jackie says yes.
Yes. Okay. Hi. Shout out to Aaron.
Man, got me thinking about my life. I need to pause the live.
She agrees. Monique says she agrees.
Okay, I see you, baby.
Sabrina says she agrees.
Okay. So we can move on.
So we got a universal definition. All right, we out here. We out here.
Okay, cool.
All right, we got a nice foundation we building on.
So number 2, question number 2.
All right, so question number 2 is, why do people cheat?
So the question number 2 is, why do people cheat? The reason that I fully believe people cheat is they are struggling with some internal issue that leaks out. And what I mean by that is, to breach the commitment that you made with someone else at no point has anything to do with that other person. Because if I make a commitment to someone, regardless of what that person does, that's my commitment to them. So I know a lot of people feel like, well, the reason I cheated is because of something somebody else did, or you cheated on me, so that's why I cheated on you. I don't believe that, because if I made a commitment to you and you made a commitment to me, just because you broke your commitment to me, that doesn't give me right in my character and what I uphold to turn around and return that to you. Because at that point, I turn into the very thing that I don't like. So I feel like the reason anybody cheat under any circumstance is because they have an internal issue. Even to the degree of, if you want to blame it on someone else, if you say the reason I cheated on them is because they cheated on me, or they dogged me out, that's still an internal issue with you, because you can't keep a commitment to yourself. Now, you could have easily left them and then went and got with somebody else, and that's not cheating. But the fact that you still stayed with them just so you can return the favor, to me, that's an internal struggle. That has nothing to do with anything external.
So real quick, I have a question. So are you saying, just to be clear, because I feel like this is what I heard. So are you saying that the commitment that two people make to each other is not one thing that they're sharing together, but their own separate commitment?
Yes, sir. Say that again.
So the commitment, Adrian's point was that the commitment that two people make to each other is not one single commitment that those two people share, but their own separate commitment that they possess.
And let me explain why I believe that. Because, and this is why I feel like a lot of people are in the position that they're in. When people get together, most people hinge their relationship on the reactions, the response, and what they're getting from the other person. So if I enter into the marriage that I have with my wife, I'll use myself for an example. And I say, oh, I'm not going to cheat on you because I love you. You know, we're going through our little marriage and honeymoon phase and all of that. And I'm building my foundation on those good things. But this the thing. Every day is not going to be good. So what happens when my wife does something that I don't agree with? Now I no longer feel those butterflies and all the overflowing of love that I had when I made that initial commitment to her. And if I hinge my commitment on how I feel about her, then guess what? The moment she violates my feelings, I'm no longer committed to her, which means I feel okay with going off having sex with someone else or doing anything that violates our agreement with someone else. Why? Because the commitment that I had hinged on her is broken for the time being. And that's why a lot of you get cheated on whenever you're arguing with your spouse or your partner, is because they built their relationship on how you made them feel and not the commitment that they made to themselves. But I realized that the moments when me and my wife are into it, I don't have thoughts of, well, I'm gonna go have sex with your sister. Now, I used to think like that when I had a misunderstanding of how to build commitment. But now that I understand that my commitment is hinged on my commitment to myself and the word that I gave to her and me upholding that, she can do things all day that I don't agree with, or things that I feel like, oh, you violated me, and I may feel some type of way, but never do I think, oh, I'm finna go cheat on you, because that violates me. And I'm internally in control of my actions. That is all.
Would you like to comment?
I was ready to go back and forth with you, but I can't even.
Because it's responsible. It's all about responsibility.
Right, and I agree with you on that, because people can have their own guess, their own thoughts on how, I guess, the relationship should be. But you coming into something, you need to have like your own personal goals and expectations of not only of this whole other individual,
Right, but of
you need to be
yourself.
accountable and
Thank.
understand yourself.
What?
I told you
She
so.
on,
I
son.
told
She
you.
on, son.
Bruh, I told
Bruh.
you she been on it this week, yo.
But
She-
legit, you hit it. Cause like, if everyone understood that, and I'm not acting like I understood this maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but prior to, I had the common belief of everyone else because that's what we perceive in the world. So whenever I see people arguing, you automatically assume if I storm off and leave the house, what you think I'm finna go do?
Cheat.
Right, I'm finna go cheat. Why? Because you already know that our relationship foundation is linked on whether or not we having good times. But the moment our times are not good, I don't feel conscious that I have to be worried about, oh, I'm cheating on you. I don't even consider it cheating because we're not on good terms. But if your foundation is accountable to you, regardless of me and Swanee beefing, I still am cheating, but guess who I'm cheating on? Myself. And if you hold yourself accountable, you will never cheat on nobody. Because this is the thing, before I cheat on her, I'm going to let you go. Because I'm not going to cheat on myself trying to cheat on you. Because I am more important to me than you. And as long as I keep that foundation, you will always get respected because I respect myself first.
And in a way, it's kind of, if you do decide to do the tit for tat, then you disrespecting yourself because you allow
So who really lose?
another individual to
To-
affect your character.
Who really
So
lose?
do stuff that
You never, who? Who? I'm not finna turn into you. And then this the thing where it gets really contradictory. So I would get mad if Swanee went and cheated, right? But then what I would be mad at is her violation of her commitment. But then for me to turn around and do the same thing, I've now turned into the very thing that I detest. So can I really be mad if I'm really gonna be accountable, right?
I don't think you can be mad.
I can't be mad.
Because now y'all on the same.
We might well stay together.
Right, we can't. I can't
We sharing the same
come at
toothbrush.
you if I'm looking eye to eye. I need to be up here looking down on you.
See what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So now that you done had your moment where you have done what she's done, now who's in the wrong here?
And then people real live you, and we're gonna get to that comment. People real live use this statement. Oh, I did it because you did it. Like, what? Oh, so if I snorted a mile of blow, you gonna snort that too? Like, people real live be trying to hide behind other people's actions as if they're not solely responsible for their reactions. But the comment, I see a
Yeah.
Miss Kathy.
Well, do we have any other comments before you rehearse?
They were just agreeing.
Okay, cool.
Kathy said, I have heard men say that they have cheated on their spouse, girlfriend, and if their girlfriend or wife cheats on them, they, the men, will end the relationship for good. No,
I knew this was coming, yo!
Let's go.
I said this was coming, yo!
Go.
You knew it was coming. Thank you, Kathy.
Appreciate it, Kathy, for setting this up.
You, Kathy. Thank you, girl.
But before I address that, we need to get to the question number 3.
Okay, so we're gonna get to that, Kathy. We're gonna go to number 3.
Oh,
But
I
we're gonna
think
get to it.
it's either question number 3 or 4. Is it about the difference between emotional cheating and physical cheating?
It's number 4.
All right, so yeah, I thank you, Kathy, but we're gonna address that. But let's do question number 3.
All right, so number 3. Who is capable of cheating?
Question number 3 is, who is capable of cheating?
Everybody.
I would say
only those who are not first committed to themselves.
Explain, sir, because everybody is still on
The only people that are capable of cheating are the people who are not first committed to themselves.
So they're not committed to themselves.
First.
First.
You have to be committed to yourself first. If you're not committed to yourself first, you gon' cheat.
Okay.
Because circumstances control you. When you're not committed to yourself, external things control your actions. But when you're committed to yourself, you're living by an internal code that regardless of what goes on the outside, you don't break that commitment to yourself. Only people who cheat are people who not committed to themselves first. Because when you build your commitment on someone else, the moment that they violate, you feel like you can violate yourself.
But I mean, everybody at some point had to get to that point, though. So
I definitely agree with you, though.
What do you mean everybody had to get to that point?
like, get to the point of being committed to themselves.
So you feel like people can't reach that point of being committed to themselves before even getting into the relationship to have a chance to cheat?
No, I'm saying there are some people who, despite not being at that point, don't get the opportunity to cheat. I'm just saying at some point everybody's not at the point of being committed to themselves. Does that make sense?
But and it's the thing, you're correct. But those two people more than likely built their commitment on each other and they upheld it. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's dangerous though. It's dangerous to build your commitment on someone else before you build it upon yourself, because any day they can violate it. And say you married 15, 16 years and then your wife decide, dang, like, forget that and go do it. And now you snap out. And the reason you snap out is really not because she cheated. It's because you realize that your commitment was built on her and now she got complete control of what you finna do. So you're right, but it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous to approach a relationship like that.
No, I mean, but just to answer the question about is everybody capable of cheating? I would say I agree with Jazz. Everybody. I mean, I agree with you too, but like I said, everybody. At some point, everybody has to reach that point. So that point before they reach being committed to themselves, they are capable.
I can agree. Since the word is capable,
yeah.
Everybody is capable. Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Number 4. Is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating?
Question number 4. Is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating?
Matter of fact, I want y'all's answer to this before I answer this.
So let me ask the question again. Question number 4 is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating? Can someone give me some definitions? We need some definitions of this stuff. What's the definition of physical cheating?
Jazz, would you like to?
Physical cheating? I mean, physically
putting my
engaged with another human body.
So let's deviate real quick. So when you say physical cheating, like if I kiss a girl on the jaw and I'm married, is that cheating? Because that's physical contact.
Again, I think that will depend on what you and your wife define as cheating. So some people might not think that that's a big issue or a thing.
So are you saying that some people may not think a kiss on the jaw is? So cheating for some people may be when I actually stick it in.
Correct. 1
stroke or 2 strokes. And what if I only do 1 stroke? Is that cheating?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to see where I got room to play. I'm playing.
Yep, everybody's agreeing.
That emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating?
Emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating?
Yes, emotional cheating.
What's emotional cheating?
Let's see, Monique said cheating is cheating though, to be honest. Wendy says physical is touch and kiss. That's it right now.
So what
But they are agreeing that emotional is worse.
So what's emotional cheating? Give me some definition of emotional cheating.
You know what? I think emotional is just probably just a meeting of the minds. Like you have met someone maybe outside of your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your husband or your wife that can connect to you in maybe an intellectual way. And then also because they are intriguing you intellectually, then those other conversations will slowly get in there. It doesn't even have to necessarily be about sex. That's the thing. Like not saying that I have, but with emotional cheating, like you're just gravitating to somebody's energy. You're just gravitating to how they are, how they think, without the sexual restraints or anything that might be involved. But as far as just strictly sticking and talking about emotional, I feel that it's just a meeting of the minds outside of your significant other. And you're connecting in a way that you're not connecting with your significant other.
And y'all say that version of cheating is worse than me just sticking it in, coming out.
I mean...
So, I disagree.
Okay, so Selena.
Okay.
What up, my dude?
Miss Selena said, emotional is when you play with someone's feelings, lead them on. mind games with the opposite sex, or even within yourself. Wendy said, emotional is his attention, heart and mind towards her.
So we agree that emotional cheating is non-tangible things, such
Yeah.
as mental emotions. Physical is physical contact cheating.
Right.
Okay.
So I disagree. I feel like
You better watch it.
you know.
They all agree.
And I'm promise you I'm gonna explain because I feel like there's a step that everybody's missing. So
I feel like you've been studying for this.
Like,
I feel like I'm unprepared.
Stand up and fold the hands together. You're about to tell us something.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I think I figured this out. So do we all agree that okay, so your definition of being emotionally connecting to someone, right?
Right.
Do we all agree that friends can emotionally connect to each other all the time?
True.
Okay, so just because you emotionally connect with someone outside of your spouse, does that automatically qualify as cheating?
No.
No, because it's a friendship.
Exactly.
In order to emotionally connect to someone outside of your significant other, you have to have like a little bit more.
What
So
is
I'm yeah,
What is
I'm
that?
gonna explain what the is.
So you know what that is? If you know what that is, I need to know. I cannot keep going until you explain
I'm
what
gonna
this
explain,
is.
bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna break it down,
Okay.
yo. I think I figured this out.
Okay.
So I don't think emotional cheating is worse than physically cheating. Cheating is cheating, period.
I agree with that.
But I think the reason why people assume emotional cheating is worse than physically cheating. When people get into a relationship, because our actions are 9 times out of 10 ruled by our emotions. When we get cheated on, our mind doesn't go to, oh, it's time to let them go. Our mind immediately goes to salvage mode. And salvage, salvage, salvage
Like
mode.
I'm a savage.
No, not savage,
Oh, okay.
salvage. To salvage something.
All right.
So to salvage something means to save something from being completely destroyed. The act of saving something from being completely destroyed. So anytime we get cheated on, because we have a hard time letting go, instead of going to it's time to let them go mode, we go to salvage mode. And here's why. So, like I said, a lot of our actions are dictated heavily by our emotions. So we think that if someone goes out and physically cheats on us, as long as that cheating wasn't driven by emotions, then I still have parts of you that I can salvage, right? Yeah, you violated yourself physically, but as long as your emotions are still attached to me, all of your actions are going to be driven by your emotions that are connected to me and not to someone else, right? The reason why we think emotional cheating is worse is because once you think someone else's emotions are attached to someone else, now all of their actions are going to be dictated by their emotions to someone else. So now there's nothing left to salvage of the relationship or salvage of the person that you have a hard time letting go.
Wow.
All
I
right.
get that. That was a lot.
But
Was a lot, but I get it though. Do that again, because I know some people that need to hear that again.
So listen, this is why people think emotional cheating is worse than physically cheating.
That's crazy.
Because we are the type of humans, or we've learned behavior that is dictated by emotions, and we also have a hard time letting go. Anytime we get cheated on, instead of going into it's time to let that nigga go mode,
First of all, why I gotta be us? I gotta be us?
Or it's time to let that be go mode.
Thank you.
So it's time to let that instead of going to that mode, we go into salvage mode. Again, salvage.
Why it gotta be a B?
Salvage?
No, you said let that B go.
What else?
Wench?
Let that wench go.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Take it down.
Right? A little too aggressive.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nigga is kind of aggressive too.
We can deal with it. We've been dealing with it for years. So go ahead. We're going to salvage mode.
Anytime we get cheated on, we go into salvage mode. Again, the word salvage, to salvage something is the act of saving something from being completely destroyed. Now, we dictate our actions by emotions. So if someone physically cheats on us, as long as that physical cheating wasn't dictated by their emotions, we believe there's still something left to salvage of them because their emotions are still tied to us or attached to us. All right. So we overlook the physical as long as your emotions are still attached to me, then anything you do after that
But still can belong to me.
still can belong to me.
That's crazy.
Now, if someone, we believe emotional cheating is worse, it's because once someone's emotions are attached to someone else,
You automatically
now
see
all
that
of
physical
it
to be gone too.
exactly. Now all of their actions will now be. Now you perceive or believe that all of their actions will now be dictated by their emotions that are now attached to someone else, and at that point, you believe there's nothing left to salvage of the relationship.
You're gonna get assassinated. You can't be talking like that. Like, that's it.
But that
makes perfect sense why people believe it.
But here's the problem, and that's why people believe emotional cheating is worse. But that's where the problem comes in. We hold emotions on a high pedestal. We hold the value. We consider emotions to be of high value, but that speaks to how low we consider our physical to be valuable. You know what I mean? Like if we were to value the physical as much as we value the emotional, then we would all be on the an equal playing field. We wouldn't think emotional cheating is worse than physically cheating.
And either one that happens will let you go.
Exactly. So it speaks to how much we value ourselves physically and how much we put value into others physically as well. So until we bring this physical up, we're always going to consider emotional cheating to be worse. Because again, that commitment was not only made emotionally, but also made physically to not go out and stick your dick in anybody else or pop that pussy for anybody else. So
I can deal with the DNP.
Right.
I say that all the time.
So that's why I believe cheating, emotional cheating, physically cheating is all the same. No one is worse than the other because I hold the physical to be as valuable as the emotional. Comments.
Let's go, man. Boy, you been, boy.
I told you I cracked the Da Vinci Code.
You better do it. Somebody's gonna be done assassinated you.
I told you I cracked the Da Vinci Code.
We do have people agreeing with you.
Agreeing with me?
What? First of all, y'all swallowed all that. The only reason I kept up with Son is because I be around him.
Right.
Selena says, "What emotion is that though? It's not love." I think that was something that you were saying earlier.
All emotions.
So now we get to another part. So we all agree that we can all be emotionally connected to our friends and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So just because, even though you're committed to someone else emotionally, just because you're committed to another person, just because you connect with someone outside of that person emotionally doesn't make it cheating. Where the cheating comes in is when you connect with someone emotionally, but romantic feelings then start to develop. You then have options. You can either decide to cut the relationship off or cut the feelings off right then and there. Or once you recognize that you now have romantic feelings, continue to pursue that connection, knowing that those romantic feelings will continue to grow and possibly cause you to do something that violates your commitment to another person.
So are you basically saying that the fact that the emotion feelings rise is not where the cheating happens? It's your decision to pursue them is what makes it cheating.
Exactly. But it's not the emotional feelings, it's the romantic feelings.
Well,
I think that needs to be.
I mean, they're gonna rise
Right.
because anytime you're around people that you may consider someone you can connect with physically or emotionally like that, they're gonna eventually come, and it's up to you to decide. Okay, I'm already married.
But I'll give you an example though. I'm already married.
Let me call this one.
I'll give you an example though. So before I met you, I met your wife, right? We used to work together at work. Calm down, son. Calm down. You know,
I know
son.
you ain't trying to tell me online.
No,
Okay.
son. Listen. So remember that day the phone shut down, and that gave us an opportunity to connect with one another. We had conversations.
Connect what? The phone into the back of the other phone so you can take calls? Go ahead, I'm playing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, what's wrong with this man, bro?
Go.
Anyway, so that gave us an opportunity to have conversation and connect with one another. And through that conversation, we instantly recognized that we have a connection that that your wife decided that she wanted to continue to explore.
She wasn't getting from her husband. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, let her tell it. I reminded her of you.
Oh, she wanted
and
two
that's
of you.
why I guess.
Okay.
I guess. Anyway.
We on live, first of all. Let's start with that.
Can you let me finish then, yo?
It's juicy. Go.
So once we established a connection, she decided that she wanted to continue to explore the connection as friends. Now, at that point that she decided she wanted to explore, do you consider that to have been cheating? Right. Because in the exploration of our connection, no romantic feelings were never conjured up between the both of us. Thus she never violated her commitment or her loyalty towards you. So I think people get caught up in thinking that just because you're committed to someone, that your spouse shouldn't be able to connect with a person of the opposite sex outside of your commitment, because they think that it automatically is going to lead to romantic feelings, but that's not always the case.
But that's because most people don't have, like I said in the beginning, that initial commitment to themselves. So they don't have that trust with their partner to know that you can be out, like you and JS hang out, and knowing that, okay, they're not in there having sex, they friends.
Right.
But that goes back. You have to have that inner self-control, that inner commitment to you to even be able to explore what you're saying. Because most of the people that I know, they ain't going for that. Like that whole, like as close as you and my wife are, if I wasn't who I am and I didn't know that I've taught my wife the things that I know and we're foundation of where we are, I would perceive y'all as like the rest of the world perceive like, oh, he's smashing. Mm-hmm. So like it's rough. If you start out with that, oh, we just doing it just to be with each other, I would get jealous. But I realize even if I go home today and Swanee is cheating on me, I'm a killer, but I'm going to jail, but I'm not going to go do it. Like, I'm not going to go do that myself because I'm committed to me. Yeah. But what you said makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Man.
We got a couple comments.
Yeah. Okay. So Wendy says, emotional cheating creates lies that can be difficult to let go. Physical cheating can be a one-time thing and instantly over if one chooses. The emotional worse because time will only help the relationship.
But that goes back to what Aaron was saying. Like, it all boils down to the fact that because we have put the emotional version up so high and we went so long without gripping control of it, we automatically perceive that once those emotions is gone, everything else is gone with it.
Right.
But for those of us who've gotten to a level of maturity to know how to control our emotions, it's on the same playing field for us.
Right. And then also, the other side of it is just about valuing yourself. Like, your body is supposed to be a temple. So we're really violating ourselves by going against that commitment physically anyway. So, you know, you saying that it can be a one-time thing, whether it's a one-time thing or not, it's still a violation, because your body, you're supposed to care and value your body in a way in which you wouldn't even put yourself in a position to violate it, if that makes sense.
Right.
So for me, if that's not for you, that's fine. But for me, my body has to be on the same level as my emotions.
Let's go. So this is the thing though, and I agree with everything you're saying. I agree with everything. However, I feel as though if what I'm about to say was the standard, none of this would even matter. Agree or disagree? There's no such thing as I was cheated on. The only statement that can truly be made is you cheated on yourself. Because if someone can violate themselves, said by violating their temple, mm-hmm. Who do you think you are? Like, why do we think that we're so up there that people that violate their own bodies and their own commitment and their own accountability and their own responsibility to themselves, what make us think that they can uphold something to us? So I only entertained the statements why you was cheated on, but I don't believe in the statement I was cheated on. The only statement that holds true to me is you cheated on yourself. Because at the end of the day, it had nothing to do with me. And that's even to the degree, just say someone would be like, oh, well, you don't talk to me. So I went and talked to Aaron and I had sex with Aaron. You cheated on yourself. You violated your commitment to you. So that's my premise on the whole thing. I don't believe no one has ever been cheated on. Because at that point, you're putting yourself in some type of pedestal, trying to make someone who can't even uphold foundation to themselves, uphold it to you. And when did you become more important than that individual person? That's toxic to me. The statement itself is toxic to me.
We got some more comments.
But I agree. In the perspective of the standard of cheating we have, I wholeheartedly agree with everything you're saying. And your solution does solve their problem. But in my understanding, none of this even exists because we all start out taking full accountability and responsibility for every action we make anyway.
For ourselves.
There's no such thing as you were never cheated on. Those people cheated on themselves, and you're foolish to think that someone who can't uphold something to themselves is going to uphold that thing to you. Mm-hmm. That makes no sense to me.
KP says that's why communication and understanding is important.
Is that my boy KP? Is that a dude?
KP Jackson.
That my boy. All right, KP. Tuning in.
All right. Selena says, I agree. Cheating is cheating. Monique says that was a lot to digest, though.
Yeah, it is. It's always a lot. It's always a lot to digest.
She get this 24/7.
Yeah.
So we're going to get this teach back later on. I'm going to see videos. I'm going to need you to repeat everything I said, baby.
KP says truth. However, 2 words: communication and understanding.
Yeah, by no means would I intentionally agitate my wife to the degree that she needs to or she would decide to cheat. But even at the utmost level of agitation, she's still responsible for upholding her commitment to her.
Last comment here. Pamela says, take it back to the Word of God. The world sees things different.
True.
That's what we have right now.
So I also want to mention something. So in my caption, I put, why do men and women cheat? But if you notice, I put stars beside the word men and women. And this, once again, it lines up with my foundation of there's no such thing as you were cheated on. When I say man, I want people to understand that no man in the world has ever cheated.
You're going to have to clear that up real quick.
I know. Your eye twitched. I'll say it again. I got the way.
If y'all was watching our video last week,
you would know that. Yeah. This will be easy to swallow.
Right.
So let me say it again. No man in the entire world has ever cheated. I'm gonna give y'all a minute with that.
Monique says, so if we weren't cheated on, what is it called?
It's called that person cheated on themselves. Like, who do you think you are that you can require someone else who can violate themselves to uphold a commitment to you? Like, when did you become that important? So there's no such thing as you were cheated on. That person cheated on themselves. It's kind of like you asking me for $1,000. If I don't have $1,000 in my bank, how am I supposed to give it to you? So let me get back to, we'll deal with you tonight, Monique. No man in the world has ever cheated.
Y'all, where is the comments at? Y'all, Adrian is talking crazy.
I got you.
We got one. We got one.
I got you.
Y'all need him to.
I got you.
We got
explanation. Sabrina says, so if they only cheated on themselves, why you mad?
Oh, me, I'm not.
Monique says, men don't cheat. Boys do.
Thank you, Monique. Let's go, Monique. That's the way to. Thank you for the assist, Kobe.
She cheating though, cause she
talks
to us every day,
man. All right, so let me finish my statement. Also,
go ahead.
with the statement, no man in the world has ever cheated. I also have to add, no woman in the world has ever cheated, because the man
gotta keep it equal
and the woman. When I say man and woman, we're talking about a specific level of maturity. We're talking about a specific level of understanding. We're talking about a specific level of character. So if those things are matured to its highest peak, then cheating is a violation of commitment. And only boys and girls, or males and females, haven't matured in the level of commitment. So that's how they're able to do it, because they haven't matured. But once you mature in the level of commitment, we don't flunk. Once you understand that I'm committed as a man, and a part of me being a man in the level of commitment is the utmost highest version of it, then I'm not going to flunk back down to second grade when I've already graduated high school. So that's why I say no man and no woman has ever cheated. So if someone that you knew or you was involved with ever cheated on themselves, it was simply because they weren't a man or a woman in the area of commitment. And this is another place where a lot of people get these terms confused, because you perceive that just because he goes to work, he works out, he cuts the yard, he's a man. Those things may be matured in those areas, but there's many different areas of maturity, and all of us haven't reached maturity in all of those areas. So you can be matured in the area of fatherhood. You can be matured in the area of your work ethic. I will call you a man for those two categories. But if you're cheating on yourself, I can't call you a man, because you haven't reached that level of commitment yet that you don't violate your own being. Does that make sense? That's a lot.
It is. It was a lot. So do you think that someone who is committed can fall?
No.
Because the way that you're stating, or how I'm understanding it, is once you're at this level of commitment, like you don't see anything else, nothing else can break your focus. You're gonna stay committed.
You're doing it. You're doing what I talked about earlier.
Right.
You saying once you're at this level, you don't see it. What is there to see externally? Because remember,
what do you mean externally?
You're saying once I'm at this level, do I believe that someone can fall because I don't see anything else? But remember, my level of commitment has nothing to do with anything that I see.
It's within yourself.
There you go. So regardless of what comes outside of me, right, I'm foundational inside. Okay. So you can bring 15 females in here right now butt naked. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Because it's not based on my perception. It's not based on my circumstance. It's not based on my situation. It's based on a decision that I made to me. That's where we fall when we're hinging our foundation on all these external things. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't think you feeling something though. Could you help me explain what I'm saying? She ain't feeling something.
I think she got it.
I do.
It's
taking a minute because it's that duality, bro.
Man,
it's battling, yo.
I'm telling you. How do you feel about what I said?
I'm with you 100%. I have nothing to add at all.
I live this for real though. Like, I ain't trying to brag or boast, but like, I've arrived. Now there's areas in my life that I'm not a man in. Like my presentation of communication, I'm very childish. So you have to, and this the thing. If people will understand that when I say man, that's not an all encompassing word. When I say woman, that's not an all encompassing word. So I can be a man in my commitment to my wife, my commitment to my child, my ability, all the things that people know me for, but I still have things in me that I'm childish at, that I'm maturing in. So just because I say I'm a man, we need to really figure out, well, what areas are we specifically talking about manhood in? Because remember, manhood isn't all encompassing. It doesn't mean I've arrived at the highest peak of every area of maturity. That simply means there's specific things that I'm telling you that I've mastered and I'm there. There's other things that I'm childish in, and those are the things that I'm working on as well. And the same apply to women. Just like I know a lot of women that are good mothers, but then they are also whores. Women take care of their kids to the utmost, but they're having sex with 1,000 males or boys. So in the area of the area of motherhood, you are a woman. You handle your business taking care of your child, but in the area of self-control or
she could be doing that for fun.
And that's childish. That's childish.
To her, it might not be childish.
To sling your body to 6-7 different dudes is not childish to you?
That's her body.
For the fun of it.
That's her body. She can do what she wants.
This is my opinion. I'm asking you for yours. You don't consider it childish. Matter of fact, well, call you some dude. Let's you have some fun.
No.
But why? No.
It's meat is different.
So I want your opinion. Would you have fun with 7 different dudes tonight?
No.
Why?
Because that's not for me.
Why you don't want to have fun?
I don't want to have fun. That's not for me.
So what I'm trying to understand is, how can you promote something?
Because there's other women that don't do what I do. We ain't all the same.
So what you're saying is...
But why do you have to be the one to define that, oh, she's a good mother, but because she's out here slinging her body, the word that you're using for her to do that is whore? Like, why is that the description of her doing what she wants with her body on her own time, however many she wants to do it with, but her home and her children are taken care of?
She a woman. I give her that.
So she's not a woman because
no.
she
No, that's childish. And this is the thing, you know. Once again, this is my opinion. Right? And what I'm asking you, and this has often been a question that I want to know from you. You have some very wonderful values that you uphold that you don't violate. But yet you still feel the need to defend those very values that contradict yours.
Because I'm speaking for just the one woman. There's other women that are different from me. So when someone else speaks on what another woman does, of course I'm gonna say something to that, because again, that's what they do. I'm different from those women, but those women are still out there.
I have a question.
And they still need to, from me, at the end of the day, they're still a woman.
I have a question. Oh, so you feel like the word woman is all encompassing?
No, I don't think it's all encompassing. I'm just saying, as far as like what women do with their bodies and with whoever, I just feel like that's something that they do.
Okay.
That doesn't define them.
We're going to make this another talk it out. We're going to finish this cheating session.
All right.
We're going to make that another one. Question number 5.
Yes, we are, Monique. Yes, we are.
What she said?
She said, what? Y'all getting off topic.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
So KP says, perception of what one thinks and does is two different things. Flesh is flesh. In addition, we are human yet. Therefore, we must practice daily the discipline of self and be conscious of the choices and decisions me in the aspect of being committed.
KP, we're gonna have you on set.
So,
boy, dropping bars.
Before we move on to the next question, I do we gotta address Kathy's comment from earlier.
Okay.
So she brought up the fact that, you know, when women get cheated on, that they take their man back, but when a man gets cheated on, they ready to let it go.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what I talked about earlier about holding the emotional cheating so much more valuable than the physical, right? We all have a colleague at work, Melvin Chambers, and he has on numerous occasions stated that women can't physically cheat, basically, that women only emotionally cheat.
He said that?
Yes.
Could you find him? Like,
So
at
listen.
him so he can, I need this.
So listen, he stated that when a woman cheats, it's always emotional. And that's the problem. So, and I'm pretty sure.
He said that his mouth said that.
Has he not said this? Just a yes or no is all we need, Jazz. Yes. You heard it. You went there, yo. But you act like you weren't part of the conversation we had.
Foundational.
Anyway,
I need to know this.
So that's where the problem comes in, is the general consensus around cheating is that when it's associated with man, that men only physically cheat, and when it's associated with women, women only emotionally cheat. So if you have a man who wholeheartedly believes that, when he gets cheated on, his mind automatically goes to, oh, she emotionally cheated and there's nothing left to salvage.
Yeah.
So he decides to let it go. But women perceive men to only be thinking what they did. And so they immediately go into salvage mode and they decide to stay with the relationship.
Bruh, they ain't feeling you, bro.
They're not feeling me, son.
Because it's a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not lying. It's a lot for me to follow what you're saying, but it works. It's hard. I'm keeping up the best I can. But it works.
But listen,
he right,
but
bro.
listen, but I hate when people just make general statements. Oh, when men get cheated on, they always letting go of them women, but when women get cheated on. But that, I personally know several men who have been cheated on several times. I'm putting air quotes around that because we know we can only cheat on ourselves, but who have been cheated on several times and ended up either staying with the woman or either even getting married to them. So the idea that men...
Hold on. They did what? They got what to them?
Married to them.
Married to the grave?
Just in terms of the legal doctrine. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But yes, I know a few men personally, well, not necessarily personally, but I know of men who have been cheated on, and instead of letting their woman go, they decided to either stay with them or even go as far as to get married to them. So this idea that men always let go of a woman, that's not true. Maybe in your experience, the men that you've dealt with or the men that your friends have dealt with, that's the case. But we got to understand, like, there's millions of men in the world. Like, Like this, like one we have one bad apple spoils the entire bunch mentality.
Listen, we realize be like, oh, I'm gonna do some research. You find one article and that's legit.
That's it. Like
it's not legit.
Let me explain the bad apple spoils the rotten bunch mentality. So let's say we got 10 apples, right? And out of those 10 apples, there's one spoiled apple.
Throw the whole bag on. Whole bag on.
So you reach into the bag, you grab an apple, and that apple happens to be the spoiled one. But instead of right, so once you taste it, you're like, ugh, this is spoiled. You're not willing to try another apple just to make sure it might have just been that one apple, that these other apples might actually be good. Once you experience that one spoiled apple, your mind is made up about all apples around the world.
Pie, you don't want apple cobbler, you don't want apple car scent, you don't want apple candle in your house.
Nothing.
You don't want Febreze apple, you don't want apple lotion, you just done.
So we have to get rid of that one bad apple spoils the entire bunch mentality, because we're making general statements about other men or people in general that we have never met. This is your area or your environment is one environment out of like trillions of environments around the world. We all understand that we come from different cultures, different backgrounds, different beliefs. So obviously all men don't operate the same, and all women don't operate the same as well. So to say that women only emotional cheat, that's also not true. Some women just be trying to pop it out here, son. So we have to, for me, it's not healthy or productive to have that mentality. We have to be understanding that there are all sides of a spectrum, or there are multiple sides or multiple ends of a spectrum.
So I feel like we really have a big mess on our hands.
Mess.
Let me explain why. Because my understanding of man and woman is, when you say man, I can't attach cheating to a man.
Yeah.
Because I automatically assign a certain level of commitment to oneself that's not violated depending on circumstance and situation. So when we say men cheat, I'm like, that's not even that sentence doesn't even register to me.
Yeah.
And when we say statements like, oh, sunset was cheated on, it's like, that's not possible. So the statements, first of all, that we make is so flawed. And that's why you had to come up with the perfect recipe, and you got it. You got the perfect recipe to explain why those statements are being made. But now, even with the recipe being explained, it's causing so much other stuff to unravel.
That cognitive dissonance. that cognitive dissonance is at work right now, yo. Because I bet y'all's duality is just fighting.
Bro, you ain't to my none, cuz my baby daddy ain't no good.
Right. I didn't say that, though, yo.
And that's the thing. When we hear that, that's why I had to break down the difference between, like, you can be a man in certain areas and not in others, because people be like, oh, that's my man. And they overlay him with all matured aspects. Mm-hmm. So when I say men don't cheat, you be like, oh, yes, they do. Because you're assigning the man that you perceive to what I just said, and you're trying to defend him and then take up for him at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Bro, it's bad. Man.
We got a long comment.
The KP? That my boy KP?
No, this is Kathy.
Okay,
Kathy. I hope I explained it. Or
shout out to Kathy. She's sticking in with us. She started an hour ago. She's still here.
Thank you, Kathy. A pastor and his wife was online speaking on their marriage. He thanked his wife for washing his feet, and she said she did that because he made a statement. If she don't please her husband like his wants or wants her to, some other woman will.
Oh no!
I felt that it is an inappropriate statement, because it's like she is doing things to please him, so he won't go elsewhere.
That explains what I said. That explains what I
Kathy,
said.
come on the show,
Kathy,
yo.
where you live? We will fly you out. Okay, we're taking it too far, but we're going to hang it live. That explains the problem that I was talking about earlier. Like, females are real life out here walking on eggshells because the boy that they live with, they're scared that one day, if they take his toy or upset him, I'm yelling. Here I go.
And we got the mic, yo.
I'm sorry. If they upset him, he's gonna throw a temper tantrum. And like, females are real life depressed, stressed, worried and like just mentally drained because they're walking around the house trying to make sure they don't do nothing because we don't put that statement out there, what one woman won't do, another one will. That's foolishness. That's foolishness.
That's manipulation.
That is.
It is. I agree.
That is deceptive manipulation at its core. Who want their wife to live like that?
Yeah, that's wild, son.
It is wild.
And what first? We
might have to make that a separate.
We gotta make that another video.
Like,
man,
come on, Kat.
Bro, that's crap. You right. You right. That's not right. And why would they say that?
And you said this is a pastor.
I don't. That's why I didn't say that because I was gonna get started. They know I take it all the way to midnight with that one. So listen, Kathy, we're gonna make that another topic because if I get started, I know for a fact I'm not stopping till the phone die. So we're gonna finish these cheating perceptions.
Yeah. Next question though.
Next question. Where are the lines drawn between talking to someone else and cheating?
So that kind of goes back to what I said earlier in terms of connecting with someone emotionally. What was the comment?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What was the comment?
No. Selena says, is it safe to say that cheating can only occur in marriage?
That was actually one of the questions.
I know I had that as a question. We're gonna deal with that. We're gonna deal with that. Come on. I want to get that one.
That's a good question, Selena. But back to the original question, where the line is drawn. So that goes back to what I said about exploring your connection with another person. The exploration of that connection is not the problem. Where the problem lies is during that exploration, if you start to develop romantic feelings, you then have options. You can either decide to cut off the feelings or cut off the relationship altogether with that other person. Or if you recognize that you are developing romantic feelings and you decide to continue exploring that connection with those romantic feelings involved, because eventually if you do that, then that's when the cheating gets involved, because that will obviously lead to other things. So I think the line is drawn with the romantic feelings, because like I said, once those develop, you then have options and you just basically choose which option you want to go with.
Because prior to the romantic feelings, they're just the same as friendship feelings.
Exactly. It's just because, I mean, if we stopped our spouses from communicating or becoming friends with the opposite sex, none of us would have friends out here.
It's true.
So like,
people make the statement all the time that boys and girls cannot be friends.
And that's right. Crazy.
No. That's correct. Boys and girls can't be friends. Women and men can.
There we go.
But women and men can be friends. They don't have a problem being friends.
Yes.
You and one got a problem being friends, right?
Yes.
But
absolutely.
Boys and girls can't be friends.
But another side to that is people act like people aren't attracted to the same sex. So you have plenty of people who are gay. So if you're gonna say boys and girls can't be friends, boys and boys can't be friends. Girls and girls can't. Son. So like now we ain't got no friends out here. It's just you and me, son.
Yeah.
It's just us, and that's not healthy, yo. If you're gonna make it not okay on one side, we gotta have it not okay on all sides.
Because both sides, that's right.
Both sides are capable of communicating or developing romantic feelings with the same sex and the opposite sex.
So would you say the problem is people don't have control of themselves? Because I got control of myself. I slept at your house last night. I don't remember you rubbing me.
No, not at all.
You was fine.
I was fine.
I didn't sneak. I didn't grinch in your room and grab you.
We was fine.
You spent the night at my house. I don't remember you and my wife.
Nope.
So the issue is people are real life assigning these emotional connections to one gender, but it really applies to both because they're really covering up the fact that they don't want to admit I didn't have control and I took it there. And that goes back to what I said. Like, it all starts with you. Has nothing to do with nobody else. Your own account. I'm so proud of you.
Told you she come a long way.
So can we please answer Selena's question?
What was her question again?
Selena said, is it safe to say that cheating can only occur in marriage? So
Selena, I ain't gonna lie. I used to believe that. And let me first tell you why I believe that, and then I'm going to tell you why it's not necessarily true now to me. So I used to believe that because I know that marriage is in my opinion, in my belief system, marriage is the epitome of commitment, like spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and legally. All those things are in a line in a marriage to me. So I'm like, people are like, oh, you cheated on me. I'm like, how they cheat on you and you ain't even married? But then once I matured and understood that every individual is responsible for their personal accountability, then if I give you my word, that's something that I have to be committed to. So if I say, hey, if me and Swanna wasn't married and we were just dating, and I say, hey, like we're gonna be exclusive to only each other. When I violate my word and I cheat on myself, that's cheating. Because I just cheated on myself. I violated myself. So yes, cheating is not only, cheating isn't only exclusive to marriage. Cheating is any deviation from the biblical philosophy. Did I hit him?
Help on the head, yo.
I knew I was gonna get it. I've been working on it in my mind. I was trying to hit it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Selena? Does that make sense to you? Once we attach the definition of cheating to an internal thing, then it's possible. Like it's always possible.
Do we have any other comments besides Selena's? You sure you haven't been missing any comments?
Ooh.
I'm not coming for you. I'm just I'm just asking for a quick scroll. Oh, she been working that pinky. Y'all can't see it, but she been working this pinky.
Been waving it, everything. Oh, here goes Selena.
Selena got a keyboard. I'm playing. You know I like to play. Go ahead. These stories coming fast.
Yes.
She says, so a married man or woman should be friends with men or women only because if they become friends with boys, males, girls, females, they be boyfriend, man, girlfriend, female, or boy, male, girl, female may start to cross those boundaries to see if they can get that man or woman to fall.
Correct. I see what she's trying to say. So she's trying to say basically, if you know you're a man and you're in that level of maturity to understand that I'm only committed to my wife. So the way that I select my friends is, I select my friends based on their commitment to themselves. Mm-hmm. So if I consider you a friend and we start hanging out and I'm saying, okay, you're upholding yourself, whatever. But the moment you cross me, I realize that you're a boy or a girl in that area. I then need to decide, okay, do I keep you around to try to help you get to where I'm at? Or do I let you go because I realize that you are not matured in this area and I don't need the negativity? Now, this is the thing. I've done both. I've had guys or males or boys to try me. But because I'm foundational as a man, I stuck by them and they now converted back over to start dating females and they thank me all the time for like sticking with them in their time of whatever they were going through. But everybody isn't matured to that level. So a lot of people get tried and then they convert over. So you need to, once again, it's all about you knowing yourself. If you know that you sometimes be like, I don't want to try that. You may want to stay away from it until you get there. Or if you want to do that, that's you. But once you engage, your job is to first know yourself. Second, make sure you observing who you're deciding to be around. Because the thing about it is this. The people that you hang around, either you're going to rub off on them or they're going to rub off on you. And that's going to eventually happen either way it goes. And whether we're talking about friendship, commitment, whatever, it's going to happen. So you got to be foundation in who you are before you engage in friendships with other people.
And then there's a trust factor. Like you should be able to trust your partner to be able to have those relationships with other people and not violate their commitment to themselves that's involved with their relationship with you. So if we ain't got trust, we ain't got nothing.
Yeah, we don't.
I agree. Ready for the next one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So who is responsible for the cheating? The cheater or the cheated?
Cheater.
Who is responsible for the cheating?
Cheater.
The cheater or the cheated?
Yeah, based on our understanding of now, people can't cheat on other people; they cheat on themselves, and it's gotta be.
You can't do something to somebody else that you don't got yourself. Like, but the reason I had that question posed is because I really hate when I hear females and dudes blaming themselves for being cheated on. It's like there's nothing you can do. This person was already unstable. Like they were already uncommitted to themselves. So like stop trying to get something out of them that they don't give to themselves first. Like, can I love you if I don't first love myself? Can I cheat on you if I don't first cheat on myself? It's the same. It's the same perspectives we use for everything else, but when it pertains to cheating, we like to take the blame. We like to be the one. Oh, I'm so sad, and they did me so wrong. No, because they first had to do themselves wrong. And if somebody would do themselves wrong, who do you think you is? And this logic, I didn't even get from a cheating situation. I got it from my father situation. Like I realized the reason he was the way he was to me had nothing to do with me because I was blaming myself. Like it had everything to do with you. And if you can be who you are to you, then I can't expect that from me. And that just changed my whole perspective of accountability. And once I got that, it just merged over to every other area in my life. And I was like, dang, that makes sense. Like I remember crying when I was in high school because I thought this girl cheated on me. And it's like, how did I even expect her to uphold a commitment to me when she clearly wasn't committed to herself? Like, I'm just thinking back, closing all of those doors now, and it's like, I can't blame you. Like, I really can't be mad at you because you didn't even know you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, that really helped me close a lot of those doors that I felt like was open. I feel like we're packing too much on Jazz at this point. So yeah, never feel guilty for someone cheating on themselves because that has nothing to do with you.
That's what I was. So what you're saying kind of makes me think of the little saying where when you meet your quote unquote other half. With you saying and what you're saying as far as with cheating, I feel like that it's kind of like that statement is null and void to me now because I'm not trying to find my other half. I'm already the whole piece. You know what I'm saying? Like it just makes me think about like because you're saying that, it makes me think like, you know, people always saying, you know, oh, that's my better half, my better half, you know, did this to me.
Let's go!
But you can't get mad at another half that you ain't never had.
Yeah.
That's a new entity being brought into this. So if they cheat on you,
I'm still whole.
And to add to that, so people's perception of being single is being incomplete or. But
oh, we finna be on this thing all night.
Son. Hold on. But to be single means to be whole and complete. So if we develop the mindset while we're single that we're already whole within ourselves, then we're not looking
for somebody to complete us. We're just
us.
Looking to share our wholeness with someone else.
I don't care what you bring to the table.
I'm already complete. Come on, son.
You know,
you can lay it down, but even if you pick it up, I'm still straight.
Taking them to church, bro. Taking them to church. Yo.
So wait. So I got put on game about what you just said about people perspective of single think that you're missing something, but it means to be whole. Where you learn that from? I learned that from biblical understanding.
I learned that from talking to the guy I told you about, David Eccles.
Who's basically a walking Bible.
Walking Bible, literally.
Yeah,
he helped me understand that.
Being single does mean to be whole, but when people perceive single, they think I'm looking for somebody.
Yeah.
Said snaps fingers.
Let's go. Let's go. We got to make that another one though.
Single.
Yeah,
sure.
we got to. First of all, somebody need to write it. There's 3 videos now. we need to be keeping up with this.
Can you write this down, man? Somewhere.
You know what the other video is?
Kathy, remind us what it was, Kathy.
We keep pushing them. Kathy says you have to love yourself.
Yeah.
I enjoy being single.
Yeah.
There you go. We have to be comfortable with being by ourselves first, bro.
Because I feel like if we are content with ourselves, whoever comes into our circle, you just an addition.
Yeah, you're adding. Yeah, you're adding. You're not. Yeah, man.
So if they decide that they don't, feel like you the cup of the tea,
I'm not torn apart.
then, bye.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm still good because I was good before you came.
Correct.
All right. People.
It sucks sometimes though, because emotions do get.
Yeah.
Those thoughts when you're single, like I ain't gonna let nobody come up in here and trampling on my heart. Then here he come.
First of all, why you gotta be he?
Right.
Here he come.
Cause she doing it for her. She doing it for her. She doing it for her. Okay.
Trampling in with his chin. Ugly in the face. And it's like we got.
But think about this though. I really want a question. I really got a question for you, and I want you to really answer this question like I'm asking it. Prior to this conversation, since we know, I can assume that you had the perception of you been cheated on before this conversation. Mm-hmm. Now that you think back and you can assign the cheating to an immature boy and him cheating on himself, and it had nothing to do with anything that you lacked, anything to do that you weren't doing, anything to do with what you could have been. You move that stuff out the way and you completely see it for, oh, you cheated on yourself.
Yeah, I actually do.
Does that feel better?
It does.
Like, that got to feel better when you remove the weight of that from you. Yeah. Because you were holding that as if it was like it had nothing to do with you at all. Right. There was nothing you could have done to stop it. There was nothing you could have not done to stop it. So once you remove yourself, it's like, oh, like you cheated on yourself.
That part, yeah. Ever since I heard you say that, like I started thinking on past relationships.
Yeah, you cheated on yourself.
Like it does, speak that. Like you did that.
You did that to you.
Like that has nothing to do with
Nothing to do with
me. It did, because I didn't understand that, it did bruise me.
Yeah,
It made
it
me
hurt.
have unnecessary insecurity.
Yeah.
But
And hatred towards men.
And hatred towards all men, including us. We fight every day.
I do not hate men.
You just hate everybody that's not Aaron and Adrian. All the men that are not Aaron and Adrian, you hate those men.
No, you don't hate men. You hate boys.
You don't hate
males.
I hate males.
Yeah, there we go.
I can agree with
Let's
that.
go.
I will let you have
We
that.
with that.
I can agree with that. You can hate guys, males, or boys. You just can hate men, because we ain't never did nothing to nobody.
Right. And men have evolved.
Yeah, we don't got them problems. We ain't got them problems.
Let's go.
We ain't got them problems.
Converting the world one jasmine at a time, yo. One jasmine at a time. I feel like we can conquer the world now.
For real. They don't know what we go through with Jazz.
Bruh.
It's just, y'all don't like the fact that I'm not going to agree to all of your new ideas, but lately I have started to open my mind to accept it, so I can see if that is something maybe I want to start using and moving forward through in my life. And I
Maybe. We getting it up.
Yeah.
She said maybe.
Baby steps.
I'm coming slowly. All right, so the next question. Is it okay to cheat back and even the score? Heck no.
At this point, no, sir.
Like, bruh.
That, like Adrian said, you did that.
You did that.
I'm not finna let you bring me where you at.
Like, you already low down and dirty.
If you don't care about yourself, you don't love yourself.
I love me.
I'm not finna try to with my body.
What? Like, I'm finna run up and score with my body.
And then what people will say is, oh, they made me do it. What?
Boy. That's another one.
I can't. They made me.
Right now, single. They made me. Pastor and wife foot washing. I remember that one. And it was one more.
If Kathy can help us remember, I think she gave us the.
It was
the
one
first
more. We're gonna deal with them topics on these upcoming Saturdays. I can't stand to hear somebody say they made me.
What'd you say?
Kathy said right.
I can't stand to hear somebody say they made me do it.
Because people need something. They need a place to.
They need somebody to
someone
blame,
to blame, yeah.
man.
Other than themselves.
Yeah.
To physically be like, you the reason. Like, you put it at the thoughts.
Yeah.
You
like
You got me to this.
controlling me.
Like,
I'm a puppet now at this point.
You the one who had.
It was your fault.
It was
for
you.
doing
Yeah.
this.
So look what you're doing to me. Look what you're doing to me. That's how y'all look. That's how y'all look when y'all say somebody made you do something.
Because you didn't want to have a conversation or you don't want to communicate.
Right.
So I'm going to go out here and find somebody else that want to communicate.
Right.
Because our emotions overrule our
Yeah.
intelligence. They dictate our
Now at
actions.
this point, the communication good. Now it's like, let's go into another venture. Now the romantic feelings are set in. And
Lord have mercy. Look what you made me do. Body count on 1,000. Somebody made me do.
That part. But that's,
Oh, you got something.
Okay, so Monique said, Imagine all the powerful, secure women there would be if they developed the "you cheated on yourself" mentality. Come through,
Monique.
Girl,
Monique.
friend. I agree with you.
I'm telling you, like, there will be no insecure females about the cheating situation. Because, I mean, there's other areas of insecurity that y'all have that is outside the scope of what we're talking about. Just cheating specifically, there will be no insecurities formed from the concept of cheating because you will be totally detached from it. Like, if you get into a car accident, that don't hurt me physically because I wasn't the one in the car. But because you felt like you were in the car, you are hurt by the car accident. But when you step out and be like, dang, you wrapped your car around that tree, I sure hate that. That gonna do me.
Got another comment.
Monique again.
What'd you say?
No, sorry.
Monique got a keyboard too? She must be using the Selena keyboard.
Oh, it's the same one?
Oh.
Okay. Nah, it looked like it popped up or something.
Is that all the questions?
No, we got one more.
Okay.
Last one of the night. If the
I gotta get a haircut.
What?
I gotta get a haircut.
Like, ain't got nothing to do with nothing, yo.
Alright, last question. If the score is evened, should the two remain together? If the score
At this point, this question is null and void. Like, we can't even answer this anymore. We can't even answer.
But you know what I love about our videos? The fact that once we get down to the bottom, simply asking the questions like, don't say nothing. Like, you can't say that. Like, you can't say nothing. Yeah, like, you can't say nothing.
He answered that a long time ago.
Yeah, I love it.
But do you guys have any other questions that you would like for us to answer before we conclude this video? I give you guys a chance to, or
it was a good session.
It was
I like
very
it.
informative.
Like now, because I have a new mindset on cheating, it does, Monique, make your girl feel real powerful.
Right.
I feel real secure now that I can look back in my past and see the real, like I'm sitting here visually thinking of the situation. And it's just like every situation was built off of them.
Yeah.
And like you said, I blame myself because I felt like I wasn't
Get out the car, bro.
enough
Get out the car.
to make them happy.
This ain't your journey, bro. Get out the car.
So now I've been done with it. So now I feel real good. Thank you for that, Adrian.
I told you I had. Did I tell you about? I told you I had you. I told you I had because it helped me.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I was in a bad place because I was blaming myself.
Dang it, nobody got no comments.
But yeah, I definitely enjoyed the session. It was a good session.
Great session.
Great.
I feel like we learned a lot for sure. And before we conclude, so I want to let you guys know the reason I created VERB or came up with the idea for VERB, the purpose that VERB serves is to be an outlet for people like us and people like you to be able to gain access to information that you otherwise don't have access to be able to have conversations about a lot of topics or social issues, but also to be able to hear other perspectives in order to gain a newfound understanding about what you thought you understood but really didn't all along. And this is a space where you're allowed to be free, you're allowed to be yourself, and allowed to speak your mind without any judgment, without fear of sounding ridiculous. We don't pass judgment. We understand. We do our best to try and understand everybody in all sides of a conversation.
We're gonna crack a couple jokes.
We're gonna crack a couple of jokes.
Personal.
But the idea of it is to create a new world that's more free, outside of this world that we live in that we're so confined to. So if you enjoy these conversations, if you enjoy or you believe in the movement, you believe in what we're doing, continue to follow us. We plan on doing great things. Put other people on games. Share this. Like, subscribe. Comment. Do whatever you got to do.
Oh, It's My Body was the other one about
the
female being able to have 7 seconds.
If you believe this is something that can go far and that can really impact the world in a major way, continue to support, and we'll continue to do our best to provide this outlet for you in any way, shape, or form we can. So thank you so much for those of you who are already, listening in and following us, and thank you to the future people who will, come along in this journey along the way. Do you have anything you want to say?
I'll be sharing the link on the VERB page. If you don't follow already, go ahead and follow that and subscribe. Every Saturday, we're going to be doing Talk It Out sessions. You can actually write in or inbox me on different topics you would like us to discuss. We have a 2-year list already, but we will definitely add your topic to the list. Absolutely. And we will get to it one day.
Absolutely. So this a thing that we like to do. We used to do. We haven't done in this video. Is we like to say goodbye or wave hi and goodbye to our future selves. Because one day we'll look back on this and wonder why we were ever like this in the first place. So for right now, we're gonna say goodbye to our future selves. Everybody in the comments, wave bye to your future selves, and we'll holler at you. That's it.
This is when you bring it.